happened tonight was a disgrace. I'm disappointed at it. Shane Douglas is the NWA champion. He threw the belt down. He had no right to do that. Remember one thing, ECW is an NWA member and they're under our jurisdiction.
Well, as of noon today, I have folded NWA Eastern Championship Wrestling. In its place will be ECW Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Official.streetsmarks@gmail.com is how you want to contact us. Listen to us right here exclusively on YouTube, Street Smart Audio, or fuck with us. Official.streetsmarks on SoundCloud and IG, Street Smart fan page on Facebook, Street_Smarks on Twitter, ECW Memories. This is the Extreme Retro Review for ECW, August 27th, 1994. This is the NWA World Title Tournament. This Extreme Retro Review number 83. We're finally out of our baptism of fire because, think about this shit hot stuff. In a matter of literally weeks, we reviewed When Worlds Collide, Hostile Shitty Showdown, Heat Wave, Hardcore Heaven.
That's right.
And we finally at this piece of shit show. How dare you, Paul? How dare you, Dennis Corluzzo? How dare you, anybody involved, Todd Gordon, involved with the financial process in selling this show? Because this was a complete piece of shit show.
Wait a minute, they actually sold this for money?
They had to have, because when I acquired it from a file share, it was in order. You know, it just seems like, you know, like everything was sold in tapes, you know what I'm saying? So. And of course, well, and here's the other thing. There might be some ads, you know what I'm saying? Like you got a catalog, you know what I'm saying? If you call up ECW, the hotline or whatever, and say, hey, what tapes you got sale? Because there's on the tape for the show, they're showing the commercials for When Worlds Collide, you know, Heat Wave, Hardcore Heaven. They're showing that they're available for tape. They're available for sale, I should say. And this show was slapped together, just like Blood Feast was slapped together. And I didn't. If you noticed, I didn't even put any music for this shit. It's only an hour and 16 minutes, and that's the first red flag right there.
Yeah,
because that just shows you if it's an 8-man tournament, you know what I'm saying. You figure, you know, you give every match at least 5 to 7 in the first round, 10 to 12 in the second round, okay, and in the last match will probably be no time limit or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That would still add up to about 2 hours. Nope. 76 minutes.
76 minutes.
Not to mention, it also was supposed to feature a tag team title match.
Yeah.
That match didn't show up on this show. So Hot Stuff Hollywood, what are your thoughts and views of this show?
See, there is a dilemma.
Take your time.
That's going on in my head. Because on one hand, when it comes to the essence of ECW and its history, this is probably one of the most pivotal shows. And what makes it fucked up is because the backstory, they knew what they were doing as far as, you know, the dastardly deed. I don't know if you want me to say it or if you, when they broke away from the NWA. They knew that they were breaking away from the NWA with this show. So, in their own minds, this had to have been a big deal to them. So for them to release this, it's like someone took a liquid shit into a water balloon and then and hit me with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna try my best to not step on your toes and on the review and
Whatever.
shit. But for it to be hyped as an NWA title tournament, and for them to only show 2 matches from the tournament is freaking retarded, and it's a slap in the face, and it's annoying because this is a big deal. They know it's a big deal. They're about to make history, and this is how they come out into the world as Extreme Championship Wrestling. Very, very disappointed. Very disappointed. Very disappointed.
So after the bullet shot intro, we got Joey at the nest. He's shilling the card. It's a replay of the boring Dean Malenko promo from last week. We have another boring promo from Hot Garbage, Too Cold Scorpio. Then we have a replay of the Paul Lee promo from the Go Home show.
Yay. On a freaking super card or whatever, huh?
And to round it off, we have Shane's fucking promo from the Go Home show.
Even I was sick of this one.
Fuck you, ECW. 15 minutes later, we got 911 in the ring with Paul Lee Dangerously versus the wild card, who is Doink the Clown. The Clown. The Clown. The crowd's yelling, "Kill the Clown." In an earlier Extreme Retro review, I had talked about OG Sign Guy and talked about how he had to be a plant that who was being fed the signs by Paul Lee. Mm-hmm. Case in point, OG Sign Guy has a sign that says 911 doesn't clown around. I said, did the dirt sheets in '94 talk about ECW bringing in Doink for the NWA title tournament? There's no way. It's like there's no way that Meltzer knew that much inside information that Doink the Clown was going to be the wild card. Out of everybody that Paul has showcased throughout those 18 months that we've been watching ECW, Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Road Warrior Hawk, Don Morocco, Ivan Koloff, and this motherfucker brings in Doink the Clown. To translate that by Sign Guy already having a sign that's saying 911 doesn't clown around. He already knew. There's no way he knew.
I think that's a logical conclusion to come to.
Either way, I couldn't be bothered to look it up. 911 with theatrics. Doink's no-selling 911's taunt. There's a legit 911 chant. Then it turns into piped-in chanting. Another thing I want to talk about this show. This is another case in point show of the genius of Paul Lee's production crew and use of sound editing. Because you hear the chants of ECW, you hear the chants of 911, you hear the chants of Kill the Clown, and yet and still, you look at the hard camera people, and they're not saying anything.
Everybody's mouths is moving.
So where is this motherfucking sound coming from? It's not coming from the opposite hard camera. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. There's nobody there. And that's another thing. ECW was a lot of smoke and mirrors, but they don't even tell you. The smoke and mirrors goes beyond accentuating the positives and the strengths of the wrestlers and hiding the negatives. It's accentuating the positives of the ECW crowd as well, and doing a lot of shit through video editing and sound editing.
Makes sense.
Because these motherfuckers are not, they're chanting for like a hot second, and then you don't hear anything. But yet and still, the sweetening is just 911, 911. And I'm like, nobody's moving.
Oh man, good old TV magic.
Anyway, I said, Joey's burying Doink the Clown on play-by-play. He said he's usually against this type of thing, but he's into 911 destroying the clown. And I said this is symbolic. This is Paulie's message saying that I'm changing the wrestling landscape. I'm killing the cartoon. I'm killing the clown. You know what I'm saying? So Philly doesn't respect it. Chokeslam 2, chokeslam 3. Paulie comes in. He said, "This isn't a circus. This is ECW. 1 star." HW, thoughts?
It was weird seeing Doink the Clown in ECW. But you know, I'm glad the match was over quick. It was weird seeing Doink in the thing, and I was kind of pissed off that was the wild card opponent. It only made logical sense for it to be Mr. Hughes, in my opinion, but you know they didn't go that route. So I mean, with 911 matches, you know, it's what can you expect other than a choke slam? So we got 3 of them. So you know.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So we have Joey at the Nest. There's no backdrop behind him. There's no ECW drapery. The situation with the ECW and the NWA will be addressed by the end of the show, he says. So we have a first round match. The franchise, Shane Douglas versus the Tasmaniac. Clip to the finish. Shane with a roll-up with a handful of tights. Dud. HW, thoughts?
Dud. Double dud. Double dud.
Next match, first round match, Too Cold Scorpio versus Benoit. Clip to the finish. Too Cold Scorpio goes up top. Benoit runs up to the center top rope for a suplex. He then remembers to bring his feet up for the finish. Too Cold Scorpio, Benoit, both lock feet. 1, 2, 3. Benoit jumps up like he won. The referee, Pee Wee, declares that Scorp's the winner. Benoit protest. Negative infinity. HW, thoughts?
My thoughts, I kind of should have said this on the last match, but this is a perfect place to bring it up. They just robbed us of seeing what could have been 2 great matches with Shane and Taz and Too Cold Scorpio and Benoit. That finish looked completely idiotic and stupid. I hate those little finishes like that, especially where Scorpio should have been momentarily incapacitated from being the recipient of that move and shit, but I digress. So from that, the finish alone, it just was idiotic to me.
Benoit gave the move, was sold more than Scorpio, and then put his fucking feet up for the fuck finish. Moving on. We have a second round match. The franchise, Shane Douglas versus Dino Malenko. Clipped. Shane with a couple of pile drivers to the midget. The fans approve, but they don't show the finish. Negative infinity. This is a fucking tournament. HW, thoughts?
Those pile drivers were awesome. And just from the sheer fact that Malenko annoyed the hell out of me for this long-ass, dry-ass promo, I thought it was a very fitting end for the Iceman. So thank you, Shane.
Second round match. Too Cold Scorpio versus 911. Scorp trying to his flip-flops and flies. Body slam. Choke slam on the Too Cold Scorpio. Then Doink runs out and beats up Paul on the outside. 911 powders out the ring to save Paul. Then Matt Bourne with face paint comes out and just starts hitting 911 with chair shots repeatedly to obliterate. Doink skips around the ring. Then he gets unwigged and unmasked to reveal himself as Shane Douglas in the Scooby-Doo spot. 911 gets counted out. Too Cold Scorpio goes over. Negative infinity. HW, thoughts?
Oh man, from a story-wise perspective, I liked it because it just goes to show the planning and strategery of Shane Douglas and shit, you know what I'm saying, as to win the tournament and shit. So from that perspective, I like that. I felt bad for my man Too Cold Scorpio though, you know, for him to get a bullshit win like that, but it's all good. So
if they had shown the earlier matches to their completion and then clipped this match to the finish to to show the chicanery and all that shit, I probably would have been cool with it. But I just breezed through Shane Taz, Too Cold Scorpio Benoit, Shane and Malenko, which should have been easily 3-star matches. 3-star matches. And then I could have got this bullshit. I would have been cool with it. It would have worked.
Yeah.
No. 911 sucks. But the chokeslam is unstoppable. Cause Scorp never moved an inch. So you gotta get him out of the tournament, but how? So you book Shane to be a smart-ass heel. You got Scorp laid out going into the finals. Your biggest threat is eliminated in one fell swoop. But explain the missing Kingmaker. There's no Mr. Hughes.
There is no Mr. Hughes.
See, this whole, like, even still, even if he had Mr. Hughes with him, see, this whole doink pairing is terrible. Because it's only for the one night. You know what I'm saying? So, he's been with Mr. Hughes since, like, April. You know what I'm saying? So, if Hughes would have been there, you know what I'm saying? They could have had the 911 Hughes blow off right then. Hughes could have came back. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that just shows me that, like, either Hughes didn't want to be in the tournament or Hughes already bailed from the company.
Dang, that
because Hughes would have been perfect in that wild card spot from a storyline perspective.
Oh, hell yep, shoot.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, 911 versus Hughes. Okay? They do the same exact match. 911 goes over. They do 911 Scorpio. Hughes comes out.
Costs the 911 the match, and same result, and no Doink the Clown.
So why not put Mr. Hughes in there and then instead of Doink the Clown? That doesn't make sense. Another reason why this tournament is god fucking awful. Moving on. I said in an interesting tidbit, the signs are showing early that this is Shane's night. Joey has a lead into the main event of the tournament. The franchise Shane Douglas versus Too Cold Scorpio. Nope. First of all, Too Cold Scorpio doesn't pass the Finkel test, in my opinion. Because you can't say, and new heavyweight champion of the world, Too Cold Scorpio. Don't work.
No, you just made it work.
It don't work. And new. Also, it could be 400 years of conditioning speaking.
Possibly.
Not mentally able to picture a nigga as the world champion. Always keep that in mind, young princes and princesses. It's a long feeling out process into some counter leg work. Lazy Indian deathlock countered into a pin for 2. There's a standoff. Shane's going for epic. JT and Hack Myers walk around the ring for no apparent reason. More geeks come to the ring to watch the match. There's more stuff. Shane with a slap. Joey with some good play-by-play. He's putting Scorp over as a journeyman wrestler. Scorp with some offense. They trade small packages. LOL. Stand off to some applause. The ref, who is Pee-wee, for this match. At 29 minutes and 18 seconds, there's a neckbeard Mike Johnson sighting.
Oh, what's up, Neck Beezy?
It's like the fucked up fusion of Willow and Samwise Gamgee.
Damn.
They do some stuff that is actually quite impressive.
And the burial of Mike Johnson continues.
They do a stand-up electric chair spot, slingshot press for 2. Shane gets sent outside. I see a sign that says, I got crabs.
Oh, wow. Poor guy.
Outside stuff. They're into the crowd. They do a big rail suplex spot. There's a bunch of Japs in the crowd.
Oh, shit.
Joey puts it over. Good job, Joey. Back inside, back and forth, Joey explains away Mr. Hughes and buries Sherry Martel for being with Ric Flair in WCW. Scorpio's outside with a tombstone, and he calls it moonsault, but it misses the belly for the win. 2-star match. Geek Ortiz Joey puts over Magnum TA because he taught Shane the belly to Bailey. Whatever. Shane gets the belt. Tuco Scorpio says something stupid, and he challenges him for the new belt. Shane accepts, and he goes into his spiel.
I stand here before God and my Father in heaven tonight, as I said I would be world's heavyweight champion. In the tradition of Lou Thesz, in the tradition of Jack Brisco, of the Brisco brothers, of Dory Funk Jr., of Kerry Funk, the man who'll never die. As the real nature boy, Buddy Rogers, upstairs tonight. From the Harley Races to the Barry Windhams to the Ric Flairs. I accept this heavyweight title. Wait a second. Of Kerry Von Erich. Of the fat man himself, Dusty Rhodes. This is it tonight, Dad. God, that's beautiful. And Rick Steamboat. And they can all kiss my ass.
What in the hell is he doing?
Because I am not the man who accepts a torch to be handed down to me from an organization that died, R.I.P., 7 years ago. The franchise, Shane Douglas, is the man who ignites the new flame of the sport of professional wrestling.
That's the ECW
Tonight,
belt.
before God and my Father as witness, I declare myself, the franchise, as the new ECW Heavyweight Champion of the world.
Shane Douglas declaring himself
We have set out
ECW
to change
World
the face
Champion
of professional wrestling. So tonight, let the new era begin. The era of the sport of professional wrestling. The era of the franchise. The era of the ECW.
H-Dub, your thoughts?
Oh man, that was so freaking awesome. I've seen him deliver that promo 3 times now, and just listen you read it for the first time. I guess it's the 4th time I've heard it now, and every single time it gives me motherfucking goosebumps and pumps me up and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know, that was pretty epic right there.
Literally,
Franchise.
quite literally, the only thing worth a damn on this fucking show.
Yeah.
But I said it before. Shane can do epic. He did epic at the night the line was crossing at the post-match interview and shit. You know what I'm saying? Where he cut the promo of a lifetime against Terry Funk. And now he is destroying the NWA single-handedly.
Just shat on it. Especially he said he wouldn't take a hand-me-down from a promotion that died 7 years ago. And shit. I'm like, damn. He's like, Shane, he's sitting right there.
How could you be Dennis Coralluzzo at this moment? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're Dennis Coralluzzo, and you got your new champion. You got the hottest fucking independent promotion in the country right now.
He counting dollar signs.
Oh my God, he is just doing the crime time, money, yeah, deal shit and everything like that. And next thing you know, this motherfucker just completely just destroys your promotion. In one promo. I was watching the timeline, 94, and Shane is the narrator of the year, as he should be. Actually, I kind of think Sandman could have been the 94 guy, you know what I'm saying? But Shane is very much apropos. And he's talking about how Coralluzzo, the day of the show, came to him with a booking sheet. And, you know what I'm saying, wanted him to sign a contract, you know, to commit to some dates already. And, of course, Shane was like, he was ducking him and shit because it's like, you know, I'm not going to, you know, commit to anything without my lawyer involved and everything like that.
Smart.
And then also he had heard Coralluzzo bury Shane Douglas on Mike Tenay's radio show.
Oh.
So he already knew that he wasn't going to sign. He didn't know if he was going to throw down the belt because this was a situation between Paul, Todd, and Shane.
Okay.
And Paul had told him, like, the idea of what he was going to do. You know what I'm saying? Splitting off from the NWA and, you know, going renegade, basically. And he told him the pros and the cons, and he didn't bother him about it. And Shane said he didn't, you know, Paul didn't bother him about it until, you know, he didn't bother him about it at all. And with the burial of Shane by Coralluzzo on today's show, and plus trying to stick him with some dates already and shit, had basically made up Shane's mind to go ahead, throw down the belt, and go renegade.
Damn.
So you see how this can, you know, this changes wrestling history.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because effectively, the NWA at this point is dead. It was already dead. Shane had already said it was dead. It was dead when Turner had, you know, purchased the majority of it and formed into WCW. So the NWA was just limping, you know, from that point on. ECW Eastern Championship Wrestling gets hot. Coralluzzo wants to fucking go in with him, you know what I'm saying, and take this shit national. They got the TV. Might as well, right? Mm-hmm. Paul says, fuck that. Let's go renegade. And the rest is history.
Damn.
So the crowd is chanting ECW. Too Cold Scorpio asked for the mic, but Shane dropped it, as he should. I said, I asked you, Hot Stuff, what the fuck did Scorp have to say? Like, what could he have said?
I was wondering the same thing. Like, I felt embarrassed for him at this point. I'm like, dude, what are you doing there? Because bad enough he was hanging on the apron on outside the ropes and shit for a minute while he was talking and shit. Then I'm like, you back, my dude?
So Shane cuts the mic off, drops it. Scorpio goes, hey, let me get that mic, man. Shane looks like he's about to get the mic, but the crowd starts chanting ECW. So he just goes with the crowd, as he fucking should. Scorpio dumbass gets into the ring, grabs the mic, and starts cutting a completely inaudible promo. Because the mic is off. What an idiot. I know Shane is looking at him. Shane's in the corner with the belt, right? Because he threw down the fucking NWA belt, picks up the ECW belt, goes into the fucking corner with the belt. Motherfucking Scorpio starts cutting his inaudible promo, talking about, yeah, ECW, yeah. Well, Shane, something, flip, flop, and fly. Now you see me, now you don't. And the motherfucker extends his hand to Shane. Shane shakes his hand, and then Scorpio powders. And then, you know, Shane starts doing the motherfucking Hogan, you know, saying, pointing to the crowd and shit, points up to his daddy, and then they go off back to Joey.
What a goof.
Dennis Coralluzzo of WWA fame, at this time, NWA president, calls it a disgrace. And he said he's going to get down to the bottom of it. Joey then leads into Todd's response. Todd goes, it is a disgrace or whatever. And he folds Eastern Championship Wrestling. And In its place is now ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and they recognize Shane Douglas as the champion, and they welcome all comers to challenge for the belt. So now Shane Douglas has to bring credibility to this new World Heavyweight Championship. There's a Public Enemy promo. They sneak up behind the old ECW backdrop. Eastern is already conveniently marked out, as it has been for several weeks by this point. Johnny is tagging the Eastern part. Rocco's doing his lookout gimmick. The spray paint is absolutely terrible. They paint Extreme under the crossed out Eastern. Then they say now they're going to take it to the extreme. Moving on. Shane with his rosy red cheeks. He's backstage with some dirt sheet writers. He said he'd always knew he'd be world champ as a wrestler, not as an actor who goes on a sitcom, comes back, and rips his shirt off like Hogan.
Hey!
Mick Foley walks up with the ECW Tag Team Championship on his shoulder. He puts Shane over.
Where'd he get that from?
Who knows? He says maybe after 12 years, we can see who's finally the better man. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Shane rambles some more. And now this fucking show becomes Best of Shane, Volume 1.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
We have Shane Douglas with another promo in front of the ECW logo. He's standing next to a woolly mammoth, masquerading as Matt Bourne in a Doink wig. Shane puts over Doink by burying him. Matt Bourne cuts a wacky Piper-esque promo. Shane gets good at the end. Never mind. He's just rambling on. Woolly Mammoth turns around. He shows his back to close. Moving on. We have Shane versus Ron Simmons. Ron's hair is fucking awful. I said let it go. We have Flair is dead chance. Clip to the post-match. Shane won, duh. Shane's hitting Ron with the world title. Too Cold Scorpio hits the ring, kicks Shane in the face. Doom 2.0 with the beat down on the champ. Body slam, moonsault combo. Your thoughts on the match?
Any reason why they didn't show the finish to Simmons and Shane?
I have a better question for you. Where the fuck did Ron Simmons come from?
The Magic Wrestler portal. Duh. He came in behind Cactus Jack, probably.
At least they could have fucking explained that he was a challenger for the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, Todd said he welcomes all challengers, but Joey could have put it over like, hey, this is a challenger for the belt. Just out of nowhere. Shane versus Ron Simmons. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
So Shane cuts a promo. He's talking to Sherry Martel on the phone. He wants her to come back for the November to Remember Part 2 and be in his corner for a match. It'll be great to be with a man again, he says. He then names Stunning Steve Austin as his tag team partner against Too Cold Scorpio and Ron Simmons. Moving on. In the ring with Shane and Sherry. Stone Cold, oh shit. Stunning Steve Austin is injured. So Brian Pillman substitutes. I guess he's the better link of the Hollywood Blondes, he said, or some shit. Moving on. We have another match. Too Cold Scorpio and Ron Simmons versus Shane Douglas and Brian Pillman with Sherry Martel in their corner. Inside outside brawl. It's clipped as shit. It settles into a tag match. Scorp and Shane do stuff. Scorp and Pillman do stuff. Simmons and Pillman do stuff. Pillman turns chicken shit. Ron wants the franchise. He beats on Brian Pillman. Huge spine buster. Some jaw jacking. It's clipped to Shane and Simmons stuff. There's a nice gut wrench by Shane Douglas. Scorpion peril. Never mind. It's more outside stuff. Back inside. A mule drop kick for 2. More clippage. It ends with a beautiful power slam by Ron Simmons for the dub. H-Dub, your thoughts on the match?
The parts that they did show, I found enjoyable. It was a pretty decent match to me, and it was. I'm glad that as I figured they would, that Too Cold and Ron Simmons went over and shit.
Pillman protests to Sherry, drags her in the ring. Her sweater comes off, and Sherry has a picture of Ric Flair over her heart. Shane finally finds out that Sherry has been duping. Sherry has been duping Shane the entire time. He grabs the picture, rips it up, gives Sherry a pile driver, cuts a promo talking about you're a slut or some shit, cuts a promo burying Flair. Flair is dead chant to end the show. Not even for historical purposes should you watch this show.
Even to watch Shane throw down the belt and Todd to declare Eastern Championship Wrestling dead and Extreme Championship Wrestling is here to stay.
This show is worse than Blood Feast.
Ooh, that's strong.
Skip this show. Everything will be presented in clip form. Thumbs down. There is absolutely one upside to this show. Do you know what it is?
Shane throwing down the belt.
We will breeze through all the clips going forward.
Oh, well, that's... Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Fuck this show. Fuck you, ECW. Next week, the last Eastern Championship Wrestling TV show. Until then, life is a work. Make sure you get paid for it. We out. Peace.
Peace.